Hi everybody, welcome to my little corner of YouTube land. I'm hoping the neighbor is done with his lawn. um, there's a few different things happening right now. Number one, Lola is at the vet getting 8 teeth pulled. So I'm kind of nervous about that because she's old, and they do blood work on her before they put her under. But I had a dog that Kino, my dog Kino, who passed away like 7 years ago. He developed seizures after a dental because of the what do you call it? The thing that they use you to put you under. And he developed seizures after that, and like for the rest of his life he would have seizures, and they were absolutely terrifying, and I'm like deathly afraid that I'm gonna have to go through that again with another dog, and I desperately do not want to, because it was a horrifying experience for me. I mean, as well as the dog just got up at the end and shook himself off and walked away like nothing, and I'd be covered in his pee and crying, and it was a terrible ordeal. But if you've been watching my Instagram, you know that I have 2 of my most loved fosters with me this week while their owner is out of town, and we're having a blast, and they're not quite sure what to make of this, so hopefully they'll stay in the chair and stay asleep. But they are the cutest, and they don't remember me at all. It's hilarious. I mean, it has been 2 years since I've seen them, and they were only here for 7 months. Well, that's kind of a long time to have a foster. Anyway, the other thing that's going on is I am currently experiencing an LPR flare, which is the only thing I have to call whatever this thing that's been happening to me for 3 years. I was thinking about delaying recording and maybe recording tomorrow, but the problem with that is I might be worse tomorrow, and then I didn't want to completely miss an episode and then throw the whole schedule off because next week's dye project. And that's like my favorite episode to do. So this is going to be even more low-key. There might be some starts and stops. And you might be able to see the pain on my face. I've been trying since I've developed invisible illnesses to try to make them more visible to people that don't understand that you can be sick and not look sick. And I don't know why that's a hard concept. But it is certainly easy if you see someone with a cast on that they have a broken arm or leg, or if you see someone in a wheelchair, that doesn't mean they can't walk. That does not mean they can't walk at all, by the way. But there's a lot of stigma and stuff when it comes to illness, and I kind of wanted to not shy away and not hide this, because it unfortunately is a giant part of my life that is terrible. So I'm going to take breaks if I need to. I'm going to try not to. I'm going to try to... I'm sorry, my throat is... I have a bubble that feels like it's right here. So as long as I don't get the hiccups, we're going to be okay. And the hiccups are the worst. That's the worst part. Anyway, I have to leave my phone on in case the vet calls me. So we also have unboxing. Laughing Cat Fibers sent me my order. That's here. We got some new stuff. I'm wearing a Cascade 220 top. I wear them all the time, so it's too hot here today. It's almost like 80 degrees. So it was beautiful yesterday. Today it's beautiful too, but it's supposed to rain. Yeah, it's like 77 degrees. It's gorgeous outside. Anyway, now that we have had that explanation, I hope you will stay with me. And I hope I'm not going to apologize for my illness, but I hope it doesn't bother you to sit here with me for probably an hour. Before we go over what we finished, because this is what is this? End of April, beginning of May episode. And we have today is Wednesday, so we have three more days of the month still. And I'm not done, so we're gonna start with this one. Okay, so remember last episode when we were talking about, hey, let's start Carrie at 40 grams, and then I was like, oh, I'll work out the math and see if that works out. I did not work out the math, and it turns out it did not work out. So yesterday, when I got down to, I think like 10-ish grams or whatever, I had 14 mesh holes. What are you doing? Get back up in bed. Come on, get back up. And we know that I already said we wanted more than 14. So the problem with taking 40 grams was I didn't account that during the episode I did account that 30 grams was only for the 14 holes and did not account for the extra. Okay. So the extra being our finishing rounds, our 3 rows of stockinette, our 3 garter ridges. I'm sorry, my brain is, because I'm flaring, it's hard to focus past the pain. Stay with me, okay? 30 grams counted for the 14 rows. Counted for the 14 rows of mesh, okay? 14 holes of 14 mesh holes. Stop licking. Oh my God. It did not account for the finishing. And for finishing, I mean, we had 3 garter ridges and then the bind off. And because we're working top down, that's 2 rows. Okay, so we can't go 1 row like we can for this. Or no, not for that either. Oh, I mean, after we just need that last purl, and then we don't need the return after that. But we need 6 rows. 6 rows of garter after the last mesh row. Okay. That takes up 10 grams. So the 40 gave me 14 rows plus the finishing, which is exactly what we had already decided that we didn't want. So I made the decision to frog back to 50 grams and start over, which means I have 2 holes. I have 2 holes. Oh, yeah, god damn it. So because I hate this thing now. No, I'm just kidding. This part actually isn't that bad. I'm thinking the 50 grams in the mesh will go faster than the last 10 of the stockinette. The only thing is I'm going to stop this for right now. I mean, it will get done, but it's not going to be done in 3 days. Which is fine because the deadline that I'm making is The deadlines are self-imposed. The end of the month is kind of arbitrary. There's really no need to be done at the end of the month. It's just how I like to count things. So instead, because I was taking all my time to finish that in time for today, and then we would have this finished by next episode, because technically, okay, it's Wednesday, right? And then next episode is dye project. So I can't even start on dye projects until I've gone over the dye project with you and you can see it. So I typically have nothing really to do from this week to next week. So I might have them both done. However, this weekend we have another shawl to do. So this will be done next week for dye project. Still my favorite. It really is. It's still my favorite. I absolutely am loving how this came out. Look at that. All that I love so much. So this is like 40 grams, I think. 50, 40. Quite a bit. But this is easy to do because it's nothing. Just more stockinette. So hopefully we'll see both of them done. If I buckle down and get them done. So then what we did this month, let me see, bring out what we finished. Whoa, that's May. April. Okay. We did our cashmere hat. Cashmere hat. Made a cashmere hat. We did the mint shawl. And we did these two shawls. So we did 3 shawls, a hat, maybe 2 more shawls. Let's bring her forward and talk about her. This is the Ruth version of Eleanor. You see the points of her. I'm also going to put... check out my Instagram, because when I posted her on my story thing, which I still am not entirely sure how that works out, but I I'm gonna add a picture of how I blocked her, because I block her from this center. Okay, what I did here is I left 2 selvage stitches on this side. Which is also what I did for the other one that we didn't really talk about because it was just mesh. So I did 2 selvage stitches for her. So when I block, I start here at this right angle. And then this goes up and this goes sideways. Okay, because I want a right angle. So when I measure on the blocking board, this side was 36 inches and this side was 36 inches, and I do that while I'm blocking. I make sure that they match, or that they are as close to matching as they can. Then I pull this out a little bit with a few, you'll see, there's a couple, like 3 of these that just hold it up so I can get a little bit more stretch. And then when you let go, after it's blocked, it doesn't, that blocking doesn't stay there. Do you know what I mean? It kind of elastic. It's kind of pulls itself back down, so it's not wonky or anything. But you do have to be careful that you don't pull it too hard, or it will stay and you'll have a wonky edge. But see, it didn't do anything. What I did then is I pulled these points out so we could have the same points. Another thing I did, because this was worsted weight, I changed the actual old shell pattern. Okay, old shell is an 18 stitch repeat, and I changed it to 12. And I changed that because this usually has 6 yarn overs and 6 decreases on either side. Okay, so I just took one. So I did 2 decreases on one side, 2 decreases on the other side, and that made 4 yarn overs in the middle. So I went from 18 stitches to 12, and the reason I did that was so I could get more on the worsted weight. I don't know what my stitch count was. I didn't even bother with the stitch count. Because it doesn't have to add up to anything. It can literally be anything. It doesn't have to match anything. It doesn't matter. So when I was coming back from this side before I started these, I already knew I was going to go to 12 instead of 18. So after my 2 salvage stitches, I had a marker there to help me. I counted off 12 stitches and put a marker and just did that until I ran out of 12 stitches. So I literally could not tell you the stitch count. I mean, if we counted the points, we could probably tell how many I had, but then it was still increasing on the one side, so I don't know how many stitch. Isn't that awesome that you can make this and not have to count? You don't have to know your stitch count. You just 12. That's literally all I had to count was 12, like 6 times, I think, maybe 5 or 6 times. So if you wanted to leave at 18, you could, but you would have less points. And I will go back to 18 for the fingering version because there will be plenty of stitches to cover the 18. It won't be a problem. But with the big one, I wanted to make sure we had more points. You know what I mean? I thought it looked better. So anyway, this came out even better than I thought it would. We had a bit left over. But I think this version is even going to make it into the pattern. This was made with, I think, Cascade, the 220 Superwash. It's almost a worsted weight. It's not quite a worsted weight for me. But she blocked beautifully. I mean, and I was pretty aggressive blocking her. Kind of had to be. Anyway, I may or may not edit out all my bits of pain. So if we jump around, then I edited them out. But I might make it look at them. I think she came out beautiful. I think she just is absolutely, it's just gorgeous. Really, really thrilled with this one. And I wasn't sure I was going to like her with the roof to the side like that, but there's something about it that it's so feminine, and I really think it fits the person I named it after, which is kind of why I chose that pink. And I don't know why I associate her with pink, but this rosy pink, but I do. Anyway. So we did those 3 shawls, a hat, and then the other 2 shawls. So, I mean, 5 shawls and a hat is not bad at all for April. Now, May starts up oh, wait a minute. I want to do squishy mail before that. Do you want to do squishy mail now and then do May? Let's do that. Okay, so like I said, I got Laughing at Fibers. I got my order. Okay, so Laughing Cat Fibers. You guys know that she's one of my favorite dyers. She's kind of local-ish. She's in the same state as me, but she's still too far away. Anyway, she actually, as strange as this sounds, because I first saw her in the virtual fiber festivals. I think that's how I found her. And the very first thing I bought of hers was the blacktails that I made up immediately because I loved it. I think this glows in the black in the UV light. I loved it because it's black but still so so colorful, so bright, and so neat, right? So yeah, this is the first thing I bought from her, blacktails. And then soon after that, she came out with the space thing. And so anyway, she is very, very colorful. And looking at her stuff, and knowing that I am goth girl that likes black and dark and moody colors, and she has very, very bright, colorful stuff like off of paintings, and like I'm pretty sure she has an actual art degree or art history or so. I don't know. She's an actual artist TM. Okay, so but I loved how she seemed so sure of her colors and how she loved her colorways, and you could tell they were representative of her. And she is actually what made me decide I could be a dyer, and that I could really be a dyer, and that I just had to find my aesthetic, and I had to be true to my aesthetic and figure out what that was and all that stuff. So I wouldn't literally be where I am right now if I had not seen her show and met her and seen her yarns and stuff like that. And she's an amazing person. She's super nice. And I just really admire her and look up to her. And I think she's so true to her vision. And it inspires me to want to be true to my vision. So anyway, I want to show you what I got because these are some new of her space. I love her space colorways because I love space. We all know I love space. This is called Astral. And I love that she gives you a little picture of the, what do you call it? The inspiration. This is a little bit blown out. It's not that bright. It's like a watery, almost blue, kind of like a rainy sky. And then there's red, which is really cool. And so to go with this, I got Beads on a String, which is another. I just love it. Pink and turquoise and green. So I was planning on putting these two together some way. Because I also have two of her other space ones, which is Interstellar, which was the first one. Interstellar, which is this blue and pinky purplish gorgeousness, and Crab Nebula. Purple, pink, green, dark purpley black. These I had wanted to make a brioche, and then I thought they were too busy. So these, I don't even know. I'll make something with all four, and it'll be crazy. And then I got two other ones. This is the one I was really looking forward to. Kepler's. She might be discontinuing this one. I got this one in a DK because she had it already made in a DK. Oh. I like this one because it's all rainbowy. So this is going to be either a DK Eleanor. Eleanor's not here. Or one of the new series that I'm planning. I haven't decided yet. I'm going to wait and see how those work out. But this is going to be a shawl. Surprise! Because how great is that going to look back to some, all that rainbow next to black is going to look awesome. And this is a new one called Medusa Calling. I freaking love Medusa. Who doesn't love Medusa? Like, don't you want to turn annoying men into stone? I would love to have that ability. I'm actually going to love this. It's got this maroon and then like a mustardy and then this dark green, blue, teal-ish, and then purple. Oh my God. It's like so monstrous. Like, I don't know exactly what I feel like her and her snakes would look like, right? She was like, this has Mourning Dew Studio written all over it. And I was like, okay. I don't know what I'm going to, shawl, duh, right? Of course it's going to be a shawl. What else would it be? These are all fingering because I love fingering. I'm thinking something different though. I'm thinking, well, see, first what I have to do is I have to decide. This is what I do when I don't know what I'm going to make with something. But I know, like, I have an idea. Like, this is probably going to be a shawl. 9 times out of 10, it's a shawl, right? Unless it's a top, right? So, when I cake her up, I try her out. So what I mean by that is I will start usually like how Eleanor starts, because it's an easy start. I'll start Eleanor in garter and see if I like it written up with garter or worked up in garter, I mean. Because you remember I told you sometimes I don't like color works in garter. Sometimes I only like them in stockinette. So work it up in garter and see how I like it. And then, so like I do a little swatch. Not like a swatch, but I just work a little bit until I get a feel for it. And then I'll switch to garter. And then I'll switch to stockinette. And I see how I like it in stockinette. And then I work that up until I either get, a yes, I've decided. And then I decide what I want. So while I'm doing that, I will probably decide, do I want some mesh? Do I want some lace? There's plenty of other laces that I can come up with. I've got that Japanese knitting book that has like everything in it. So I'm sure these will eventually add other things to them. So, aren't they just the most... They're just like the most colorful things that I think I wouldn't like. But then I do. I'm wondering if, like, I need to pair this down with some gray or something. I'm not sure. Because I do like to wear color over black. I'm not even wearing black, but it's dark enough, right? That like you could. I think she's right about the Medusa. The Medusa's really, really calling my name hard. And I want to make this into something, but I'm like, I am booked to the end of the year with stuff to do. So anyway, you can really tell when I like designers because I have a ton of their stuff. And I still have Ruth that is going to be a Carrie. It's going to be a Cashmere Carrie for the fall. I've already decided. So anyway, shout out to Laughing Cat Fibers, who I just adore. So check her out. I'll link her below. She's fantastic. What's next? May. Yay. Now, May traditionally is our first summer month, right? For summer stuff, even though we didn't do any spring stuff, and we're certainly not doing any summer stuff because of everything that's happening. Now, we're thinking that the sunroom will be open this weekend. We're hoping to clean it out this weekend. I want it cleaned out this weekend because next weekend I'm getting my second shot, and if I have any side effects, I want to be in my sunroom because that's my favorite place to be in this house, especially when I'm not feeling well. Like, I wish it was open today so I could go lay in I lay in the dog beds next to the window, and I open the window. I mean, the sliding glass window. It's a sunroom, so there's like 3 sliding glass windows that you open, and there's screens, and then they're dog beds. So you lay in the dog bed, and you can smell the air come in, and I'll stay out there while it's storming, and you can smell. I love the smell of rain and stuff, so I get right down in the dog beds with all the dogs, and we lay down and stuff, and that's, I guess, how I recharge. But anyway, hopefully we'll have the sunroom open, and then I can start dyeing again, because I'm not going to make this June open with everything I have to do beforehand. I have so many swatches to make. I have to even make the list of the swatches I have to make. Okay, so what do we have for summer projects? My Earth Star, which is a cotton shawl that I should have done last year. Yonda Window redo, which I don't think we'll get to. A Space Cadet trio that I've had for like 8 million years. Oh, that doesn't need to be done yet. Top in Sport. Oh, right. No, we're not doing that yet because the shorts are next month. So next month is going to be the shorts. So this month we have our last dye projects. Where are we at? For May. Oh, so there are 5 weekends in May. There are 5 of them. So each one, I keep going back to April and I'm confused. So each weekend, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is getting a DK weight shawl made, and that's my 3rd series. There's a 4th one of these because Eleanor, and then these 2, and the 4th one is getting made this weekend. And that I showed you last time is the Michelle version in garter. And I did take notes on them. Oh, I took notes on the Michelle, not on that one that I actually did, I don't think. So anyway, that one might take me more than the weekend, which is okay because as long as I have the dye pattern, I gotta make sure that the April dye project's done before Wednesday, before we film again. So if we get that one done, then we can get all 4 of the 3rd series done over the weekends, or maybe plus a Monday. And then we only have dye projects and the fingering weight Eleanor to do. And then at night, I could do tops. I have 2 tops, the Northampton that I already put in bags. So I have Midnight Heather, this purpley navy, Midnight Heather, and this is Nebula Heather. It's like a teal gray. So we could certainly probably get both of those done at night if we don't have to pull any of the shawls over into the nighttime. Like right now I am doing April dye project at night, and during the day I'm doing it around the clock to get it done. And then once it's done, I will probably switch to Carrie and get Carrie done again around the clock until she's done, except for the weekend, which I'm going to do the last one of these. So everything else is kind of like, I guess, on hold. I'm not sure the June open is going to happen because like I said, I need those swatches dyed before I can do anything. I literally cannot. I can't move forward without those. I mean, I could. Okay, guys. Last night, I ran out of things to watch on YouTube because you guys aren't putting out enough content for me. So, I'm caught up with everybody. And, I just started messing around and searching things. And so I looked for like yarn dyeing, not like tutorials specifically, but just yarn dyeing. And thank heavens for Chemnitz, because oh my god, I've watched some of them with people just I don't know, and I don't know. Like the first book I ever read on yarn dyeing ruins me forever. Thank you, Felicia Lowe, because she taught me so much in that book that now I can't, like, it's I can't unsee things she taught me. I can't unlearn them, and I don't want to unlearn them because she made stuff make sense with the weight of fiber and depth of shade and how you weigh stuff. And her weighing the dye and your weight of fiber, you know, that led to me weighing my yarn projects. So my yarn dyeing actually brought about this crap. So I'm watching these, they're not even tutorials because they don't tell you what they're doing, thank God, because I'm like, what? But like, there are many ways to do art, and I realize that there are many ways to do art, but for me, I need experiment. I need my, like, oh my god, I need my swatches. I need my swatches to tell me what color stuff is gonna turn out, because I don't know how you can, first of all, use like a teaspoon. How do you even know what depth of shade that is? I'm telling you. Unless you dye everything the exact same every time. Like, unless you have your pan full of 4 or 5 skeins, you have no idea what depth of shade you're going for. Like, how do you recreate that if you're not doing it the same exact way every time? That means you would have to dye 5 skeins every single time. And I don't know how can you do that? How do you, like, you're gonna ruin 5 skeins by, like, what? Don't you, like, have fun and make stuff, like, with minis and stuff? Like, how do you even know how to recreate that if you do it that way? I don't know. But see, all of this, I know how to make all of this. I know what all of this means. I don't know why this one's here. Oh, because you're here this way. Why don't we just open you up and move you around? So, like, I know how to recreate every single color on here because I made every single color on here. And I carefully measured and did stuff. So, and all of them are different. I mean, not all of them worked perfectly, especially my very darkest. Right there. But look at those. Did you see the purple? No, that's a brown. Don't look at that one. That's a brown. Look at how dark those are. Look at that green. Isn't that gorgeous? So what if I want to redo this on a smaller scale, on a bigger scale? So I have to take my main rainbow right here. This is my main rainbow. This is my 1% rainbow. And I have to mix it with all of these grays. Because that's how I get my moody colors. I take the right rainbow and I mix it with the moody colors. So I have to do that before I can finish what I want to do. And then what I do after that is see how these are all differing depth of shades. So this is the blue at different, my cyan at different depth of shades. So from one of the lightest I can get, well, I mean, I could get lighter than that, but for mixing, that's about as light as I can get. I would have to use a portion of my dye stock after that. So after I get all of these rainbows done, I have to do that to them. So when I pick my colors, like this is one of my favorite rainbows, I have to do that to it to see what other colors I can get out of it, to see which ones are the best. Because see, this orange and this yellow are the ones I have problems with. Orange and the yellow. That does look green, but it's not green. And then over here, we have it again with brown. Worked better with brown. So those, again, have to be depth of shade. Increase, decrease, see what we can get. And I have to know all that before I can move forward. Because how do you know what you can do if you don't know what colors you have to work with? I do admit, though, speckling is a lot of fun, and I understand why people speckle. Like when I speckled that last one, oh my God. It was super fun. I have no idea what I was doing or how much I used, or like if I wanted to recreate that color as like a tonal, I would have no idea. Like I would have to put it next to my depth of shade markers, and because that was pink that I used, and see which one it matches the best. But that's why I don't like speckling, because I think it's really hard to recreate because it is so chaotic. But it is fun. So unless you speckle with black, which I plan to speckle with black. I like to speckle black. So anyway, I'm kind of upset this year isn't going at all the way I wanted it to, with my stash and having projects and finishing them and doing them and working stuff off my list of techniques I wanted to learn for this year. Still haven't worked with mohair, but I figured I'd do that closer to the cold anyway. Like that would be something like in the fall. Anyway, I'm hoping like once I get the shop open, and I hope I'm not overwhelmed with that and can still get back to making stuff that's, you know, on my list of stuff to do. I kind of have this fear that I'm going to want to get rid of everything that's not my yarn. I have this fear that I'm only going to want to work with my own yarn. And I'm not going to want to work with anyone else's yarn. And then I'm just going to end up remaking things in my own yarn. You know? Like half of these, once they're done, they're getting reskeined and... Excuse me. Once these are done, like once the pictures are taken and the things are done, these are getting reskeined and you know, soaked and hanged back up to be used for something else, because they're just prototypes. But I really think that one came out really, really good, and I want to put her in the... Also, what do you think about how I'm going to release the pattern? Because this pattern is going to be in fingering weight. It's going to be in, well, not sport weight yet, because I don't have any sport weight to make her up in, but she'll be in fingering, DK, and worsted. So should I make a separate pattern? Because it's a 2-row repeat. It feels like a waste to make the separate patterns. I was thinking if I should do like the pattern and then have a page for fingering, page for, and then when sport weight comes in, I can just add a page in for that. I was thinking that. Just have a page for each weight. But I don't know that I've seen many patterns that are made for different weights. And I also don't know if Ravelry allows that. Because I know I've seen things on Ravelry that are like I've seen in the thing worsted weight version or DK version, fingering version, you know, so I don't want to have to make, I think it'd be easier if you just have it all there. It's a 2-row repeat. It's like super easy until you get to, even then, once you get to the lace, that's a 4-row repeat. Like that doesn't, well, that actually will be different on the worsted than on the fingering. But I think if you're doing that one, you're a little bit more advanced and you'll know. Anyway, We're almost hitting an hour already. You guys, tell me you're still watching Debris, because it is my new favorite show and I'm crazy about it. Did you watch the other night? Because it's a two-parter. It's a to be continued. And he was like, oh my god, why can't I think of the guy's name? It's Finola. What's the other guy's name? Oh my god, I can't think of his name. The guy that was in the ruins. Do you know what guy I'm talking about? You know, I read The Ruins. It was a terrific book. It was so terrifying. I read it because I read a thing that said it was like Jaws in the jungle. And I was like, oh, that sounds fun. And then the movie was totally not as scary as the book. And then they left out a character, or did they put two characters together? Somehow it was different than the book. I mean, it's always different than the book. But anyway, he was in that movie too. But who was it? When he was talking to her at the end, she said something like, what are you looking for? And I said the answer before he did, and I knew it. So they gave us Mulder and Scully back again, and I could not be happier. And now we need some aliens. It's like the 6th episode, and I'm like, where are the aliens? Oh my god, right? Where are the aliens? Anyway, I thought this last episode was really, really cool. With the whole alternate... I love alternate realities. Don't fall off. I know. Anyway... I guess that's it. I don't have anything else to talk about, and I want to be ready to pick Lola up as soon as she's ready to go. And my throat hurts from talking, and my bubble's really hurting, and I hope that wasn't too low energy for you, but I just didn't want to wait, and I'm tired of like hiding out when my body does this to me. It's really hard to have chronic illness, and when you have painful ones, it's extra terrible. And I hate this one because it makes me so hungry. Like I'm absolutely starving, and I have trouble swallowing, so you can't eat because it's hard to swallow. Like I just had soggy rice and soup broth because that's like the only way I can swallow anything. Like I've choked on tea before when this happens. You just choke on anything that you try to swallow. It's just like, that was not happening. And you can't sleep. I've been up since 5:30 this morning. I'm absolutely exhausted. But you can't sleep, you can't move. It hurts. It just sucks. It's the worst. And I lost all my doctors. My doctor got pregnant, had a baby, and then retired. And then I was seeing a nurse. What do you call that? The nurse that can make prescriptions. But that's all she does. She doesn't help me with anything else. So, nurse practitioner. So, I wanted to get a new doctor, and then you have to call around a million times and make sure they take your insurance and make sure that they take the approved amount and blah, blah, that you're not going to get charged for a separate charge for a clinic or something. And then I have to find... I want to go to the dentist. I don't have dental insurance, so I'm like calling around. This dentist... told me it's $387 for a cleaning and an exam, and I'm like, do people really pay you $400 every 6 months to clean their teeth? Like, what a racket. Are you kidding me? So, and then I have like 3 other doctors I have to go to that well, like the other ones are like clinics that I've already been to, so it's not. Oh, and I have to find a new eye doctor because I haven't been to the eye doctor in like 6 years, and I can't see. I'm getting old and I can't see now. So there's more phone calls, which doesn't help when you have phone phobia and you don't want to call people that you don't know and ask them a bunch of questions. Ugh. Sucks. Anyway, enough of my bitching about how hard everything is. Next week I'm going to be bitching about how afraid I am to get my second shot. Been terrified. If I thought I was terrified the first time, I'm doubly terrified for the second one. Anyway, I hope you guys got your second doses, or at least your first. Anyway, sorry if this was a letdown of an episode. I mean, there's like 3 of you watching, so leave a comment if it is absolutely terrible. Just kidding. Put out more videos. I need more stuff to watch. Anyway, God, I'm cranky. I'm sorry that I'm cranky today. I'm cranky because I'm in pain. I get really cranky when I'm in pain. And I'm really worried about my dog. And I just want my dog to be back here and her to be fine and for her to not have seizures. I'm sure she'll be okay. And I need to stop worrying about it. Because she'll be fine, and she has to get the teeth pulled anyway because she has face blew up from the infection. Anyway, that's all I got. Dye project next week. That'll be fun because I already dyed the skein, y'all, and it's really cool. And there's some new math and new colors. And I'm excited to see how that one will work up too. But then that's our last dye project. And then we have just random dye. Like some of the dye projects are going to be different fibers, yarns, but different fibers in the yarn. Like we got some yak, we got some non-superwash, we got, I don't know, lots of stuff. I don't even know I have like 4 giant plastic things full of my husband's getting a work call. I better sign up. But anyway, I have like 4 giant plastic bins of bear, and that's not even counting the other one that is not for, that's just shop yarn. That's not like my own personal stash of dyeable yarns, because I got a lot of different types of wools, just like 1 or 2 skeins to play with and to try if I like them before I try looking for. Oh, if you have a favorite wool, will you put it in the comments and maybe send me a link of where I could buy such wool? Because like I tried Target, and the coriander, super soft. Oh my gosh. But I know there's like Rambouillet and Shetland, and I have a list of all the ones I have, but it is not a lot, and I would love to know. I have some from the Falkland Islands from England. So if you have a favorite wool and what you like to make, if you tell me what it was, a link to it, and what you like to make with it, so I know if it's next to skin or if it's next to skin or something else. I'd really like to make like an outer. Got some like really scratchy, nice wool that I could wear as an outer jacket, because then I could wear, have a a cowl or a shawl that would keep it from my neck and have it, maybe have some fold over arm warmers or something. Arm warmers is like a big giant joke on my show. Yeah, we'll make some arm warmers. Something that could flail over for when. That's what I would really like to do, is have a real woolly, coarse coat. I think that would be really warm, and I think I would really, really like it, and maybe felt it. But see, then you gotta make things bigger, and it has to be a percentage bigger, and then it has to shrink to fit, and that stuff is so crazy. Anyway, if you have a favorite wool, please comment. Nobody comments except for spam people. But if you want to comment about anything, comment about what show you're watching. Let me know what you think of Debris. Let me know what your dog's name is and send me a picture of it. Or cats. Or really any pet. Really, I like pets. Send me a picture of your pet with its name. You have to tell me the name or it doesn't count. Anyway, signing off. Thank you for spending an hour with me and my cranky self this time. Let's hope we don't have many more episodes where my illnesses have to play a part. Thank you very much for sitting with me through this. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you next week. Bye.